It is 11 o'clock. Welcome back. It is hour number 2 of Three Man Front here on Jocks. We're live at Social Taco. The doors are now officially open. We've already got some listeners stopping by and ordering lunch already. We always love to see that here at Social Taco. Come on by and see us. We're going to go out to Norman, Oklahoma momentarily, talk to Tyler McComas, good friend of the program, afternoon talk show host there at KREF Radio. He will give us a preview of what's coming up this weekend. I've had so many people reach out to me, and it's just a really cool thing that Abide Roofing is doing. So take a listen. What you need to do to go to their website at abideroof.com and be a part of this incredible promotion. So literally, Abide Roofing, they're raising the roof. Abide Roofing is giving one deserving homeowner a brand new roof, completely free. This isn't a gimmick. It's not a sales pitch. It's their way of saying thank you to the community that's trusted Abide with their homes. So here's how it works. Fill out the quick form at abideroof.com. Look for a green bar at the top of the home page. You can nominate yourself or someone who deserves it. Then watch for the winning announcement coming up next month. Value is up to a 30-square roof, or roughly $13,000. Maybe it's someone who's fallen on hard times and can't afford repairs. Maybe it's a single parent working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. Maybe it's a veteran. Today's Veterans Day. Maybe it's a first responder or a teacher who's always giving back to others. Or maybe it's that neighbor who volunteers for every local event, a true pillar of the community. Whoever it is, Abide Roofing, they want to hear your story. At Abide Roofing, they believe everyone deserves a safe, reliable roof over their head, and this is their way of giving back. So don't wait. Entries are open now. Enter through December 12th, 2025. Winner will be announced on December 19th, 2025. For complete details and to enter for the free roofing giveaway, just simply go to abideroof.com. Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline from the wonderful state of Oklahoma, Tyler McComas joins us now on Three Man Front. Tyler, hope you're doing well. Got a big one coming up Saturday.
I haven't been to Tuscaloosa since the first year of the Mike Shula era, which we know Conrad, a big Mike Shula guy. So
yes,
I'm excited
huge.
to get back out there for the first time in 20-plus years.
Oh, it's going to be great. Of course, I believe it was a 2013 win, right? Oklahoma over Bama.
Had to fake a punt and everything. Yeah, they had to pull up the stops that year for a team that made it to the national championship game.
Yeah, that was a very, very good Oklahoma team, and for some reason Mike Shula actually had that Alabama team playing well that night. So the last time we talked to you was right, obviously, the week of the Auburn game. Just kind of take us through what has taken place from that point to where we currently are with this Oklahoma football team in regards to what it's looking like here the final month of the season.
Well, the answer to that has a lot to do with that Auburn game where John Mateer suffered the thumb injury early on in that football game. So, coming out of that game, I think a lot of people had him, if not the front runner for the Heisman Trophy, certainly in the top 3. And, man, this guy's big time. Is he only going to be at OU 1 year? I mean, he could be a first-round draft pick. I mean, he's played that well. And that conversation has really stopped since that game. He threw 3 picks in the game against Texas, played okay against South Carolina. The numbers weren't great. Didn't play great against Ole Miss, did some nice things against Tennessee. So it's just been kind of waiting for him to get back to kind of the self that he was early on in the season, really before that thumb injury. What's held everything together and what's kept you in contention is this defense. And I'm sure I told you guys way back before the Auburn game that this defense is legit. And, yeah, they gave up some points and yards to Ole Miss. But outside of that, they've been really, really good. The big development, though, I would say with this team, as you're waiting and seeing and hoping if John Mateer can get back to what he was earlier in the year, is they had no run game to speak of whatsoever. I mean, even early in the season, if they were going to have a running game, it was going to be with John Mateer. They couldn't line up and run the football on anybody, and I don't think that they did that when Auburn was in town. The last, I would say, 3 games, they found the ability – with a couple of running backs to run the ball and run the ball downhill. Now, they're still not one of the best rushing attacks in the SEC, but they're at least good enough to take some pressure off of their passing game. It's the defense that's held it together, but it's 3 consecutive games now in the SEC where it's, hey, maybe OU has something in the run game here. And obviously we'll find out if that's legit or not on Saturday in Tuscaloosa.
Tyler, speaking of the running game, Alabama, they have struggled to run the football. When you look at what Alabama does offensively, and, of course, Ty Simpson in the passing game, what Oklahoma and Brent Venables' defenses typically do, how do you see that particular matchup shaping up, and how could it dictate the final score?
Well, I think it's going to dictate a lot. I think OU's going to hold up well defensively against the run because they really have all year long. Even games where you say, geez, that guy, whether it was Kyron Lacey of Ole Miss, Trey Wisner of Texas, you'd say, man, they had a big day against OU. And you look up and they really only had like 70, 75, 80 yards. So, someone might pop a big run or two, but outside that, you're just not able to consistently run the ball in this defense. The one thing potentially working against Oklahoma and in favor of Alabama in this game is that it doesn't sound like R. Mason Thomas is going to play for OU this weekend. Now, that hasn't been decided yet, and we'll find out more about an injury report. But on that defensive score that they had against Tennessee early in the game, which is the biggest play of the season up to this point, he had what looked to be a hamstring injury on that. So there's been no, Brent Venables hasn't said one way or the other. We're just kind of gathering information. Hopefully things turn the other way, but not sounding all that great right now. He is a huge part of the defense, leads this team in sacks, one of the better pass rushers in the SEC. But even in his absence, though, I'll say this. In the game against Tennessee, who's a really good offense, OU's defense really kind of shut him down for the most part after that. But to your question about the run game, I'm sure Bama will find some success, but I don't know. I guess I would be surprised if Bama runs the thing for, north of 150, 160 yards or anything like that. OU's a really, really good rush defense.
Yeah, based on the fact of what Alabama has been unable to do running the football against the likes of South Carolina and some other opponents, I would think that if Bama does go for north of 100 yards against Oklahoma, that would mean bad news for Oklahoma, in my opinion. Tyler McComas joins us here on Three Man Front, afternoon talk show host there at KREF Radio in Norman, Oklahoma. So let's talk about Ty Simpson, and let's talk about how Oklahoma can defend him. He's been one of the best in the country, him and Mendoza at Indiana, in regards to just absolutely slicing and dicing the opponents. How can the secondary, or is it the defensive front for Oklahoma, going to be able to put that pressure on Ty Simpson and make it uncomfortable?
Yeah, I think it's all on the D-line. I really do. They're going to have to get pressure on Ty Simpson because you're right. He can dice you up down the field, but I think what's most impressive and probably most important for this game on Saturday, guy doesn't turn the ball over. What does he have, one interception on the year? And
yeah, he's fumbled a couple times on some when the pocket has collapsed, but no, throwing the football, he's only had one interception.
Yeah, and you forced Joey Aguilar of Tennessee into 3 turnovers in the game in Knoxville, which is the reason why you won. OU's going to have to force turnovers in this game, in my opinion. Now, what's that number? Maybe that number is 2, but I think they have to at least force 1. Because the OU offense, we'll see what we get on Saturday, but it has been an offense that's been very prone to turning the football over, even at very, very bad times, like they did late in the game in Neyland a week from last Saturday. So OU's going to have to win the turnover battle in this game. They're going to have to take care of it offensively. You're going to have to find a way to make Ty Simpson throw you the football once or twice. And I don't think that that's going to happen without great pressure from the OU defensive line. So OU's got young corners. I think they're pretty good. They've held up really well for the most part this year. Clearly they'll get challenged by Ty Simpson and Bama's receivers. But I think you got to put pressure on Ty Simpson and make him make some decisions that, frankly, he hasn't made this year throwing the ball down the field.
Tyler, I want to ask you about the overall body of work. This was going to be a pivotal season for Brent Venables coming in. We discussed it in potential scenarios where he could be shown the door. Not that his job is in peril by any means, but for Oklahoma fans, for folks like you that cover the program on a daily basis, how much has he exceeded expectations maybe, and how much has he silenced those critics?
So they're exactly where I thought he needed to be going into the season. And I'm sure I told you guys this in Atlanta at SEC Media Day. I thought that OU needed to be in contention for the college football playoff heading into the month of November. You could not come into the month of November already out of the race. Well, here they are. I mean, it's the month of November, and they're squarely in the race, probably going to be ranked 11th tonight in the college football playoff rankings. And it's just funny how much a week can make, especially in this league. After the Ole Miss game, I'm not saying the majority of the fan base, but there were a lot of people that were out. Tired of losing like this, tired of losing games where you're a favorite, tired of losing like this, like that. A lot of people were out on Brent Venables. And then he had arguably the biggest win of his career the last time they played a game against Tennessee, and now everybody's back in because there's a path to the playoff that's in front of you if you play good football. So I think it's definitely fluctuated throughout the year. A lot of people were upset after the Texas loss, understandably so. A lot of people were upset after the Ole Miss loss. But a lot of people have bought back in after this Tennessee game. And my guess is it's going to swing one way or the other depending on what happens Saturday at Alabama. If they lose, then, well, of course they can't win the big one when it matters. We might need to move on. Or if they win, people might want to give him a contract extension at the end of the year. So the running joke with us is that every single game this year has felt like, well, this is the biggest game of Brent's career. This is the biggest game of Brent's career so far. We've said that 5 times so far this year. And guess what we're saying again this week? This is the biggest game for Brent Venables since he's been at Oklahoma. And we'll see what he does with it.
All right, well, Vegas odds makers, they don't believe there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. So not saying that we're asking you for a prediction on Tuesday because there's some health-related issues for both teams that you just don't know about till maybe later in the week. But how do you anticipate this game kind of playing out? If you want to give us a prediction, fantastic, we'll take it. If not, just how do you think the flow will happen?
Yeah, I'm with Vegas on that, and I just think that this defense for OU is so good, and the offense is not really big play capable right now, and I think that they're going to want to keep the ball on the ground with Xavier Robinson, that I don't see a lot of points being scored unless there's a punt block for a touchdown, a special teams touchdown, a defensive touchdown. That's where I think that, if those things were to happen, you could see a score in the 30s. But, guys, I'm kind of thinking around – like a 2017 football game that's really, really close and really tight throughout. I do think that this is going to be a game that's going to be decided in probably the final 5 minutes of the football game. I think it has the makings to be, 2 teams with a lot on the line, 2 blue blood programs, awesome uniform matchup. Man, this is an awesome uniform matchup on Saturday. I think it has a chance to be the game of the weekend and a game where this could be decided by a walk-off field goal. I think points are going to be hard to come by. I think it's going to be that close. I think it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out type of game. I think it could go either way, and I won't be surprised if this one is decided by a field goal or it's a tie game late and somebody scores a touchdown late in this game. But I'm fully anticipating a close game on Saturday between these two, and I can't wait.
Well, based on Oklahoma's field goal kicking compared to that of Alabama, that would mean Oklahoma would win the game. just telling you.
With the shortest kicker shorts you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, my goodness.
Which we've heard enough about that.
He might get arrested in Tuscaloosa County if he goes down there wearing that stuff. You got to be careful.
He'll fit in with the sorority girls just fine.
Yeah. All right, Tyler, before we let you go, I did want to ask you about the rest of this conference. We had a little discussion a little bit earlier in the show about Texas A&M. Tonight we're going to get the second edition of this year's college football playoff rankings. We all believe that it's obviously going to be Ohio State and Indiana, then Texas A&M. But what is your opinion of this Texas A&M team? Because this is an A&M team that could go the whole entire regular season in the SEC and not play Georgia, Alabama, or Ole Miss.
So I've really grown up the majority of my life seeing OU play Texas A&M. Obviously, it hasn't happened a lot in the SEC, and you guys are very familiar with them. So, and I've seen this so many times throughout my lifetime, it's, okay, that's cool. Texas A&M had an early September. Just wait till November.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome. A&M looks great in October. Just wait until November when they collapse. Even last year that happened, right? They had this great start early on. They had everything in front of them, and they lose games late in November. So I've been waiting for that to happen, and it just hasn't happened yet. Yeah, Missouri is – they don't have their starting quarterback, but they went out to Columbia and they looked really good. I think they're good, guys. I think they're going to the playoff, and I think that there's a really good chance they're going to play for an SEC championship. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I definitely believe they beat South Carolina, and I think they beat Samford. I think that they're going to go to Austin and win, and be an undefeated team heading into the SEC championship game. Mike Elko has been an incredible hire for them. I think their defense is legit. I think the quarterback is getting better week after week after week. It hurts to say that out loud about Texas A&M. It really does. Maybe the November collapse can still happen. They lose to South Carolina and Texas. But I don't think it's going to. And if you ask me right now, I think they finished the regular season undefeated for the best A&M season, probably ever.
That is Tyler McComas. You can hear him this afternoon on KREF Radio there in Norman, Oklahoma. Tyler, I hope the trip is a productive one for you. I hope you enjoy the game coming up this weekend. Like you said, it should be a really, really good grudge match between these two. It should be a good game. Thanks, Tyler.
You bet. Anytime.
Thanks. That's Tyler McComas. Join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
We continue. We digest what Tyler just had to tell us from the state of Oklahoma, preview that matchup, the huge matchup, not only for Brent Venables, but for Caitlin DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide coming up at Bryant-Denny this weekend. Your text, your phone calls welcome as well. We're live from Social Taco here in Homewood. Come and join us. Three-man front on Jocks. Welcome back in. That's Social Taco. That is the place. Come and join us in the Taco Terrace or right next to City Hall in the square in Homewood. Mix and match tacos. You can go with a salad like Don because he's trying to keep that girlish figure. Maybe some chicken feathers for Pat Smith and myself in just a little bit. But join us at Social Taco. Don't forget about brunch on the weekends as well. 10 to 2:30 on Saturdays, 10 to 2:30 on Sundays. The Bottomless Tapas brunch here at Social Taco. I also don't want you to forget about our friends at Mandu. If you're trying to stay fit, look good for the holidays, you can do it at Mandu. It's electrical muscle stimulation fitness, all FDA approved. It doesn't hurt. But the revolutionary approach is it's a 15-minute workout. 15-minute workout, you're going to get the results as if you were working out for 6 hours in a gym. And great news for our listeners up in North Alabama, those in the Huntsville area, Mandu is open there as well. You can check out their studio. Just go to mandu.com, MANDUU.com. Mention Jocks, 10% off of your membership, 15% off if you mention Jocks and you're a student. Once again, MANDUU.com. Tell Paul and the gang that Landrum from Jocks sent you.
So Conrad was telling me and Landrum off the air just a couple minutes ago that some new odds have hit for some of these head coaching vacancies around college football. John Sumrall is the number one candidate to be the next Auburn head coach. That is 2 to 3 odds, or minus 150. DJ Durkin is at number 2, 3 to 1. James Franklin 5 to 1. Jeff Brom 7 to 1. Kenny Dillingham is 9 to 1. And then Eli Drinkwitz is 16 to 1. So that is what Vegas is saying currently about the Auburn head coaching job. Well, what about the Florida Gators? Right now, Lane Kiffin is a minus 300 to be the next head coach at Florida. Eli Drinkwitz is at number 2. James Franklin and Jed Fish are tied for the third best odds. This is when it gets interesting. According to Las Vegas right now, the next head coach for the LSU Bengal Tigers with 2 to 1 odds to be the next head coach is Nick Saban.
Ah, they know something, Pat. They know something.
Lane Kiffin has the second best odds at plus 375. Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, he comes in next at 4 to 1 odds. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, 5 to 1, and Dan Lanning is 7 to 1.
Okay. All right, the first two names on that list, Nick Saban, obviously, and Lane Kiffin. I don't think that either one of those guys will be the next head coach. The third guy on the list is probably the most likely, in my opinion, Joe Brady. Clark Lee would be very interesting.
Isn't it pretty funny that Joe Brady's biggest competition for the LSU job could be Lane Kiffin, and it could also be his competition for the New York Giants job? Because, I'm just saying, Joe Brady has been rumored as a NFL head coaching candidate this offseason.
I just want Joe Brady to happen to LSU so we can finally get over it. Let's just see what Joe Brady can do at LSU. Because his name sure does come up a lot. Ever since the Joe Burrow years, we've heard Joe Brady's name.
Yep.
According to Vegas, the next Arkansas full-time head coach is going to be Ryan Silverfield. That's 2 to 1 odds. James Franklin 5 to 2. Bobby Petrino 9 to 2. It seems like Vegas believes that James Franklin is going to be a bridesmaid to all these jobs.
Well,
never a bride, but a bridesmaid.
The speculation, though, is that he's holding out just in case Florida State opens up and maybe a USC. And those are actually two names that we've mentioned just in a separate conversation. We could see James Franklin being a fit at those two respective programs.
Yeah.
So who knows? But he's got a contract in front of him. And if you're Virginia Tech, you put all your eggs in this basket. He's got a contract sitting there waiting to sign it. How long do you wait before you go to that next guy?
Yeah, he's playing roulette right now with these jobs. I mean,
he is, but is he? Because he just got paid $49 million to walk away from Penn State.
And I'm sure he feels pretty confident that he could do some TV like Jimbo Fisher is doing this year, whatever the case. Penn State, the job that James Franklin was fired from earlier this season. Brian Hartline from Ohio State, minus 250 odds at becoming the next Nittany Lion head coach, followed by Eli Drinkwitz. So you see Eli Drinkwitz, despite the audio clip we played earlier in the show of the fact that he just can't win against teams that are above 500 in conference play, he's on all these lists.
Does he have a tie to Penn State that I don't
know. Maybe he went up there and Maybe a cup of coffee as a GA, maybe? I don't have his resume in front of me.
Let's see. He has no. Nope.
There's a picture that is being circulated around social media, and you can't trust anything anymore. That's why you have to be so careful. Whether it's a picture, it used to be in the old days, oh, that's been photoshopped. Well, now because of AI, I mean, you can have full produced videos that look like
You mean like that Dylan Gabriel video you sent me yesterday, Pat?
Yes, exactly. I wish you wouldn't have brought that up, but yeah. So, yeah. So this coaching business.
Oh, was it the one when he was at Central Florida?
Who, Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah.
No.
No, it was him post-game from the Browns, the last Browns game.
I was thinking gruesome injuries because Pat likes to send those videos and those still shots.
No.
But it was Mackenzie Milton, right?
Yeah, at UCF, yep.
Tore his knee in like 19 different places. His knee tore so bad that he tore somebody else's knee.
I sent you the Chubb one. You got that one in your phone, don't you?
I hope it's deleted. Oh, so nasty. Eli Drinkwitz, though. It's getting a lot of buzz up in the Northeast around Happy Valley. Maybe that's the guy. Then where does Missouri go?
They screwed up by getting rid of Barry Odom.
Dan Mullen, you want to come back?
I don't know.
I don't think that would work given the altercation that we saw between Drink and Mullen when Missouri played Florida.
Yeah.
In Mullen's final days.
I think Mullen is perfectly happy.
He needs to stay there in Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Or aren't they the ones that went after each other with like the Darth Vader thing a couple years ago?
But Absolutely. They had to be separated going into halftime.
Yes. Yep. That was great.
Yeah, they were going to throw hands. Eli was ready too.
Mm-hmm. He's spunky.
Yeah, he's spunky.
Yeah. It's like a spider monkey.
Get you around the ankles.
We do have Mac tonight. I just want to remind everybody.
Yes, we do.
Do not forget that we have Mac tonight. Kent State at Akron. It's going to be 31 degrees. Akron's a 6.5-point favorite.
You know, the fact that Akron is 4-6 and 3-3 in conference play, good for you, Joe Moorhead.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, considering where they were.
Yep. That's at 6:30 tonight, so I'm sure all 100 people that are there in attendance will enjoy the festivities. 7 o'clock, you have Ohio and Western Michigan. Western Michigan's pretty good. They're 5-4, 4-1 in the MAC. Ohio 6-3, 4-1 in the MAC. So this is a nice little matchup tonight. 32 degrees there in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Ohio is a 1.5-point favorite on the road against the Broncos.
Let's see. Akron is showing a little bit of snow potentially.
Yeah, 31.
And normally you would say, okay, let's go under. It's going to be really cold. Don't do that. If you're going to play the MAC, just play with caution because anything can happen in the MAC. MAC's on Tuesday night.
Very much so.
Especially if it's a game involving Toledo in the Glass Bowl.
Yeah. Did you catch any of that Monday Night Football game last night?
Oh, that was good.
Oh, my gosh, it was awful.
That was really good. Reminded me of Auburn and Kentucky.
You know, NFL, some of their high-profile games this weekend, they were stinkers. Go back to Thursday night. Broncos, Raiders, how bad that was. Then Sunday Night Football, what you had in that one, that was bad. And then last night, that was supposed to be like one of the best games of the year, and it was terrible. Not good.
No, it was. I guess if you like defense, but.
And if you missed it, now this morning there's reports going around that Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat.
Yeah, heard that. That's what happens when Bryce Young beats you.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. At this point, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, game was scoreless at halftime. Eagles end up winning 10-7. Packers had a shot with 2 seconds left on a 64-yard field goal.
That thing.
It would have been the longest field goal in the history of Lambeau Field.
It never had a prayer.
No.
Hey, but you know what did happen in the fourth quarter last night? Both of our prize picks hit in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
Look at that. Money had by everybody.
Woo! Back on the winning side.
Unless you had the over last night in the Green Bay game.
What was that total?
Yuck.
38, 39?
No, it was like 48 and a half.
Oh.
Something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh no, at halftime it was 25.5.
That's when you go live line second half.
25.5 was the halftime adjusted point total for the game.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah. But luckily I had the Eagles. It was a pick'em. The game kicked off as a pick'em. So, took the Eagles. So,
good for you.
Yeah. It's a good night. All right, we will continue on. We're live at Social Taco, 1-800-239-WJOX. This is Three Man Front on Jocks. A very nice crowd is swelling here at Social Taco. Come on by and see us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Great new listeners to the program. Not new listeners, but New visitors.
New visitors, first-time guests that are here.
Social Tacos.
Then we got Rusty, plays guitar and still tours with Confederate Railroad.
Yep,
and
he's
his
here.
lovely wife, Vicky, and others that are joining us here in the Taco Terrace, where you could be here as well and meet the gang. It is a cast of characters. Don to be the first.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations. Braves rookie catcher Drake Baldwin wins the Rookie of the Year. He hit .274 last year, 19 homers, 80 RBIs. Drake Baldwin joins teammates Ronald Acuna Jr. back in 2018, Michael Harris II in 2022 as National League Rookie of the Year winners. He's the 10th Rookie of the Year in Braves franchise history.
I told you I loved him early, and look at what he did.
Yeah, he had a great year. Baldwin also makes history as the first black catcher to win the Jackie Robinson Rookie of the Year award since part-time catcher Earl Williams back in 1971. So a little bit of history made. Also this morning, the Braves announced their full Major League coaching staff for the 2026 season. Tim Hires and Eddie Perez will retain their roles as hitting coach and Major League coach, respectively. And Tony Monsalino will serve as bench coach in a change from his previously announced role as the third base coach. Tommy Watkins has been named third base coach. Dustin Garneau will work as a catching coach. Darnell Coles will serve as assistant hitting coach. And Tony Diaz has joined the staff as a Major League coach. So there you go.
No Nick Saban. That's all I got. Saban has not been named on that staff.
No. Oh, Saban will be busy at LSU. He didn't have time for baseball.
So Hires is coming back as the hitting coach. Walt Weiss obviously approved of what he did last year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he'll be back.
All right, Walt, let's do it. Let's report in a couple of months.
Yep. February will be here before you know it.
Let's ride the ship.
Around February 13th, 14th, 15th, that's when most teams will start reporting to their spring training locations, either in Arizona or down in the Grapefruit League.
I understand that not every team's going to make the playoffs every single year. But I do not want to go through another year like we had last season with the Braves. That was miserable. Well, when you've been competitive for so long, Pat, playing good baseball,
yeah, I know
you start off 0-7.
No, we didn't do that.
And then you go home and you're treading water the entire time. It was a bad season. I think all the Braves fans would agree. So hopefully Walt Weiss gets it together.
So tonight will be the college football playoff rankings. It will be week 2. Mack Rhodes is the national chairperson for the college football playoff? Is
Yes.
that right? Did you hear he got into a little bit of trouble recently? And guess who broke the story? Our very own Outkicks Trey Wallace. Have you seen this? This was reported towards the end of the weekend by Outkicks Trey Wallace. So Mack Rhodes, who is the athletics director at Baylor University, he was involved in a sideline incident involving a Baylor assistant coach and a player. Rhodes, who is currently serving as the chairperson of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, is alleged to have taken exception to a gold long-sleeved undershirt worn by Baylor tight end Michael Trigg during the Bears' home game against Arizona State on September 20th. According to sources, during the first quarter, Rhodes grabbed Trigg by the shirt on the sidelines and, while using an expletive, questioned why he was wearing it. The rest of the team was wearing dark-colored undershirts. Now, members of the coaching staff, including head coach Dave Aranda and tight ends coach Jarrett Anderson, later had heated words with Rhodes about the incident. The incident also had a lingering impact on Trigg that, according to sources, he even wanted his parents to fly into Waco. The source told Outkick Trigg got rattled. It's kind of messed him up. Trigg, as you remember, he's a former USC and Ole Miss transfer that currently leads the FBS in tight end receptions with 607 receiving yards and is tied for the most receiving touchdowns among tight ends. Trey Wallace and Outkick said that they had obtained multiple human resources complaints that were filed as a result of the incident. So this is the athletic director on the sideline getting into it with a player and then a coach. Now, Rhodes has declined comment and a college football playoff spokesperson told The Athletic it had no comment on the matter and that Rhodes remains chair of the selection committee. Now, Trigg's father, Michael Trigg Sr., said his son wore his yellow undershirt because he had a shoulder injury and the long-sleeve shirt covered his brace. Trigg Sr. said his son asked for his parents to fly to Waco, Texas to speak with Rhodes after the incident, but the parents decided against it. They weren't going to do it. Now, Baylor has since released a statement saying that more than a month ago, Baylor University received reports of an incident involving Vice President and Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Mack Rhodes. These reports were thoroughly reviewed and investigated in accordance with university policies. Appropriate actions were taken, and the matter is now closed. So here is your college football playoff chairperson who went down on the field, on the sideline, grabbed a player, used profanity, and then got into it with an assistant coach. He's the athletics director at Baylor University.
He was apparently having a bad night. What was going on in the box prior to that? I can't imagine even in that position anything that would compel me to go down to the sideline and to
I mean, did that color trigger him? So no pun intended, because it was Trigg that he went after. But did it trigger him enough to where he felt the need to go down there and rip into him?
That's again not a good look, especially when you've been appointed. I guess appointed by your peers to head up a college football playoff committee.
Yeah. Maybe somebody will ask him that tonight in the post-television news conference that they have. Wouldn't that be something?
See, you think he talks out of both sides of his mouth when he tries to explain that one away?
I don't know.
Let's stick to the rankings, Reese.
Yeah.
Don't ask me about that.
They just can't get a good one, can they?
No.
It just keeps striking out with that. They just need to hire somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some PR firm to just take care of it. Then I have to deal with it. 1-800-239-WJOX.
Get a politician up there.
Sure.
Let's get a politician.
Let Tuber.
He doesn't have to believe what he's saying.
Yeah, let Tuber do it.
Well, I wasn't referencing Senator Tuberville. I'm just saying some other politician.
Oh.
Let them do it.
Okay.
There's a UAB fan.
Absolutely.
Hey.
1-800-239-WJOX. The Courtesy GMC text line is always open for you at 205-834-9450. We will get to your text next on Three Man Front. It is 11:46. Welcome back to Social Taco. Nice crowd here on a cold but sunny day in the Deep South. You need to take advantage of Black Friday all month long at Courtesy GMC. Biggest savings of the year with the lowest prices in the Southeast. Up to $14,000 off MSRP on remaining 2025 2500s HDs in stock. Up to $12,000 off MSRP on the 2026 Sierras in stock. Up to $15,000 off on the MSRP on the 2025 Sierras in stock. And about $6,000 off MSRP on the beautiful midsize GMC Canyon. So you understand here, great deals are had. The Black Friday all-month-long event, they're at Courtesy GMC. They also have multiple terrains and Acadias. They have hit the ground. Huge savings as well. Get by and see them off of I-459 exit 32 in Trussville, or visit their online inventory at courtesybirmingham.com.
Jock's text line is open, 205-834-9450. That is a great way to interact with us on the show, and we try to get to as many texts as possible each and every day. Brad Chandler text in and asks, so with the debacle at LSU, could that scare away potential coaches? What say y'all? I think it could, potentially. Now, there might be, it just depends on who they're looking at, where you want your representation to go over the contract with a fine-tooth comb, maybe add in some additional clauses. I don't know, but these coaches, these agents, they got the scuttlebutt of what's been going on. They know exactly why LSU is doing what they're doing. That information is there in those circles. So at the end of the day, I think LSU is still able to hire a really good coach, but it's just not a good look, especially when you're in the middle and the preliminary stages of your head coaching search to replace Brian Kelly. Fanboy wants to know, what weapons do Oklahoma have besides Satania? I knew it was not that way, but I'm having to read it on the fly.
Tate Sandell, their kicker. The Daisy Duke wearing field goal kicker for them. He's good.
Conrad said he likes his legs.
He's 18 of 19 on the season.
John Mateer is a weapon.
He's hit multiple 55-yard field goals.
Yeah, but has he ever done it in that really thick Tuscaloosa air?
No, he has not.
Exactly.
I was there for that 2003 game in which Oklahoma came in and defeated Alabama 20-13. That was a heck of a football game. I mean, Alabama almost shocked America. I mean, Mike Shula potentially beating a team that ultimately played for the national championship in Oklahoma.
Shula wasn't horrible.
No, he wasn't. He just wasn't who they hired after that.
No. Going back to the Macroads, Michael Trigg, Baylor thing. So yeah. Mr. Trigg told his son to grow up. Good for Mr. Trigg, says one of our listeners.
Yeah, Michael Trigg, they wanted him to fly into Waco, and they said no. Take care of business.
Do y'all think Texas A&M should be ranked higher than Ohio State and Indiana? I'm good where they are right now.
All right, so if you look at the analytics of the strength of record, that is a pretty big analytic that they use moving forward now in the college football playoff. As of this moment, Texas A&M is number one, followed by Indiana, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Oregon, BYU, Texas Tech, Texas. So Texas A&M, according to the strength of record, which is one of the metrics that they will use tonight, they are number one.
Okay.
Not saying that that's going to be enough to put them ahead of Indiana or Ohio State, but from a metric standpoint, they really like Texas A&M.
Well, they were also number one last week, were they not?
I don't have that in front of me. I don't know if they do or not.
I'm pretty sure Texas A&M was number one in those metrics last week, and they still did.
And Texas A&M may win it all. My hesitation would be, and this is bias, and this is bias that I'm bringing in, just like a lot of us. We've seen Texas A&M do what Tyler McComas described. Everybody thinks about November falling apart. With the rest of the games that they have left, I don't see them doing that. I think that they win the rest of their games. But I still I'm still not convinced they're the best team in the SEC. And it'll all work itself out.
Sure.
I know that that's not how these committee members are supposed to rank the teams from week to week, but that's just how I think about it.
I don't think there's going to be any change
okay with
in the top 4 tonight or top 5. But just like it was last week.
Someone recommends put Nick Saban as the chairman of the selection committee. Also, some other news that we're trying to verify right now. We've gotten several texts, so if you've sent us the text or shared with us other things happening about that particular story, we're trying to verify it and just trying to be responsible, and we appreciate you guys for understanding. This one says, love the show, guys. Good job as always. This is Darren in Tennessee. I'm thinking with the pressure Oklahoma is going to bring, I think Alabama needs to sprinkle in some screens and slant routes. What do y'all think? Screens and slant routes with the speed? Yeah. Stretch them out. Make them go side to side. Because the teeth, even with an injury, the teeth of that Oklahoma defense is, woo. You got some dudes up front, and they know how to play it. I guess this would be a convenient time to remind everyone that Texas A&M had a bye week.
Yes, they did.
But according to metrics, was it Dave Bartu that came out with the metrics? Unless you're Kalen DeBoer, chances are your team is not going to perform at its maximum level following a bye week, especially in a high-profile game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a stat there somewhere, and someone, Dave Bartu, I'm giving him credit, did the research. But unless you're Kalen DeBoer, because Kalen DeBoer is 8-0 after bye weeks since 2022.
That's correct.
And 17-2 overall in his career.
Yep, and Kalen DeBoer is 19-3 across 22 career matchups with teams that have been ranked in the AP Top 25. 19-3.
Walker, mark my words, Texas will beat A&M. Rusty Hendricks has always been a top-notch guitar player. You should have seen and heard that cat when he was 20. Goodness, those fingers could fly. Butch McGee, a.k.a. Mac in Trustful. Rusty can't even hear us, but if you're just joining us, Rusty tours with Confederate Railroad. He's a guitar player, very talented guitar player. He's also a friend of the show, and he's here with his wife.
Yep.
Good, trustful people.
Aren't they all?
Yes.
Why
all
did
the
you
ones that
say
I've,
that like?
Oh no,
like
all the ones
question?
that I've run into.
Okay.
Yeah. My uncle lived in Trustful for years.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Before the incident. No, I'm kidding. He lives in Gulf Shores now.
They banished him to Gulf Shores.
Ken says, "Hey guys, how do you think Coach Kroom would have done in T-Town?"
I've always had a lot of respect for Sylvester Croom. I think during that time when he potentially could have been the head coach of Alabama, I think he would have done a really good job.
He was a high school teammate of my dad. My dad played with Sylvester Croom and also John Stallworth. Tuscaloosa High. Back in the good old days. All right, more of your texts. We've got Sean Fox from the booth talking about the LSU situation. What is going on with LSU and Brian Kelly and all that money? And who does he think the Tigers will hire as their next head coach? That and more. We continue from Social Taco in Homewood here on Jocks.